Welcome. Dave, I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
And I think I probably already know the answer to this, which is never, but how often do you go to the mall?
You know what's funny? I used to be a big mall guy. I used to love the mall.
Used to be.
I used to be
I'm
a big
talking
mall
about right
guy.
now.
I
Yeah.
never go. I never go.
Never.
And I think I'm not obviously at your level, Nicole, but I'm the worst when it comes to recognizing faces and names. And I'm so afraid to go to Target even after 10 o'clock in the morning that I'm going to run into somebody that either they know me from TV, radio, or I coached their kids. And I'm just afraid I won't recognize who they are. And I'm just terrible at it. So I just try to avoid people.
So you're socially awkward.
I'm socially awkward. I'm an Amazon guy all of a sudden. I am. It's embarrassing.
Okay. Well, I am not. I mean, I'm probably socially awkward, but that's a given. But I go to the mall and I'm there with my daughter and we're walking and we're a huge sneaker people. I don't know.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
So I spend an astronomical number that we will not disclose on shoes for my daughter and I, specifically sneakers, not shoes, sneakers. And this guy is like, my daughter watches another guy on TikTok where he's like, oh, when I see the foam, I'm in the zone. And I don't know if you know what that is. And he cleans his sneakers. And I'm like, this is so weird. So we're in the mall and there's a guy cleaning sneakers. And he's like, come over. The product for free. I paid my $60. But I'm going to tell you guys something.
Works.
Like a fucking gem. This one is not foamy like the one my daughter uses on TikTok, but it comes with that brush. And now I want to go back and ask him because he had like the shoe shine little stand. I want it in my life. I don't need it, but I want it in my life because then I came home and cleaned all of our sneakers.
Nice.
I like to buy rare sneakers, and my daughter is obsessed with custom on Converse. Like she does custom sneakers all the time, which puts the price like way up here. So I'm like, we can't put them in the washing machine. You can't put them in the dryer. This stuff works. And it truly, honestly is like a miracle. So go get it if you haven't already. My other thing that I found.
I got to ask you, what is your dream shoe? What's your dream shoe? What do you want right now?
Oh, first of all, I'm a Nike girl.
Me too.
And I always go for Kiki, bring me one of that yellow, that like mustard yellow Nike of mine. I go and I find ones that are already made, but are rare. Like I go into like the deep, dark depths of like Nike and I find things that nobody's buying and I buy them. So like this is my favorite.
I like
right
it.
now. This is my favorite. Yeah.
See, I want that shoe right there, but I want the racer blue with the white. I've been looking nonstop, but I can't find it anywhere for less than $350.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, they're expensive. Yeah. That's the whole. But then you go into these, they're coming out with all these new cool sneaker shops, and you walk in, and there's walls and walls of shoes. But then it's like everybody has access to them. I don't want what everybody's having. I want the cute ones. And then so you also know that I have been doing CVS shopping for products, which my local CVS lady told me to stop losing weight. She said I was losing too much weight. Made me feel really good. But I got the from Kimchi. If you guys don't know about it, Kimchi, I bought the cheeky threesome. It is so cute. Look at these colors. And I was so like afraid to touch it because it's so perfect. Ladies, I love it. It's bright. A little goes a long way. It's really nice. And it was cheap. It's like in the $20 range, which I think is still fair.
There you go.
We have a guest today who I love deeply. Like I love him deeply. I protect him. I'm super protective over him. I want people to see him and know who he is because he's honestly one of the best people I have in my life. And let's bring him on. Let's go, Jeremy Jackson. Where are you?
I'm right here. Nicole, do you pay the $5 a month so you get the $10 a month free at CVS?
No.
Oh, you got to sign up.
It's don't.
It's $5 a month at CVS, and you get $10 of free stuff every month. You got to do it.
I did sign up, and I unsigned myself because it wasn't working for me. Which, you know what was funny you bring that up, because there was a lady today in line in front of me with like the big receipt thing. And I'm like, look, bitch, all you have to do is download the app and it all goes straight to your phone number. So as soon as you put your phone number in, all the coupon codes are there. But she doesn't know and she doesn't care. And I'm just sitting there like, waiting forever while she's going through them. It didn't work for me. That program did not seem to really work for me. So before I go in every day, I go in the search and I say like what I'm looking for, and I walk out of there with steals. So like, I'm content.
Totally.
I love it.
Yeah, I'll go in there to grab something and it'll be free once a month. It's like get $10 worth of stuff for free.
Yeah, I know. My daughter, she goes, she was visiting from New York and she goes, I have to go. I go to CVS, put in my phone number. And she comes out and she was like, it was all free.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
That's it. Yeah. Where are you? This looks amazing. What's behind you?
My little vision boards back there.
I love it.
And keepsakes and pictures. And I moved into a little old back house, and it was built in the 50s, and it was pretty gnarly with a lot of asbestos linoleum flooring and strange things. And I spent 2 months and I did like a full remodel by myself. And I've never even, not really by myself, I had some help and guidance, but I've never really done anything like that. It was a fun endeavor. This is an old album wall. This is where you put records.
Oh,
this cork, and you would put records all there because there was a built-in record player unit thing here. It was literally from the 60s. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, I love that. What city are you in?
And now it's a built-in corkboard, like vision board wall. I lose things if I can't see them. I like to be able to see all of my stuff. If it's in a corner somewhere or in a pile, I forget it even exists. So it works well for me. Costa Mesa.
Oh, I love it.
Beach,
oh,
Costa
good.
Mesa. Yeah.
You're home.
Yeah.
You are home. Yes, we all grew up in Orange County. Yeah. For the rest of everybody that doesn't know, that's the place. That's the place to be.
So congrats on the podcast. This is great. Thanks for having me on.
It's fun, right? So happy. And you shaved all your hair off.
Yeah.
It looks
shaved
good.
my head I did
you have
hair
thick
grafts
hair
down in Mexico. I went and got more hair transplants. They took it out of the back of my head. They put it in the top of my head.
Are you joking or you're
No,
serious?
You can kind of see in the front where it's still a little bit pink right here.
I didn't even know you needed that.
Well, I don't.
You probably
want to wait. Probably right.
But yeah, you probably didn't even need that. I know you so well.
I could have got by without it, but why settle for less?
It's true. True.
You like your expensive sneakers. I got a whole wall of sneakers over here, so I get it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to live your life.
Gotta have shoes.
Gotta have shoes. Yeah,
but
now it's weird when you walk around barefoot.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I switched over to these barefoot shoes, like these wide toe box, very, very thin piece of rubber under your foot. It feels like you're wearing no shoe. Your feet are very free in there. And now all my shoes bother me. Like I got used to these barefoot minimalist shoes that don't pinch your feet. And all my Nikes, I'll walk out of my house and I turn around and I have to go change. I'm just going to sell them all, I think.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like when you go get a pedicure and you don't have the proper shoes and they give you those little thin foam slip-on sandals.
Like that. It's kind of.
Do you remember when we were in Hawaii shooting the Baywatch movie and Momoa would wear flip-flops and he would put them in the wrong toe?
Yeah.
Because it was his same theory of not wearing shoes.
You gotta keep your toes wide.
You gotta keep your toes separated. Listen, I'm a barefoot girl.
That was Kerry Tagawa.
Yes.
Who's Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. He started that, and then Jason Momoa. I tried to adopt it. It was too weird.
It was too weird with the shoe. I'm a barefoot girl all day long. The first thing we do when we get home is we take our shoes off. Shoes, bras, everything. Like everything comes off the second we come home. And I run around. My feet, they have some wear and tear on them. Because you're with the earth. I don't know.
Yes, totally.
Like we sound so crazy saying that, but you are. You're like with the earth.
10 years ago, you would have sounded weird. Nowadays, it's not weird anymore. People are getting it.
Yeah, finally, maybe.
And then 1,000 years ago, you would have sounded weird wearing shoes.
Correct.
Yeah. Here we're getting back to basics.
We are. And I love that. So tell me what's going on with you? What are you doing? Like, what's your day to day? What does that look like?
Dude, I have a life like beyond my wildest dreams. I freaking can't believe it. I got to pinch myself. I got a pretty specific routine, you know, and I get up like 5 in the morning and I go to the gym and work out with some fun friends. We have a good time. We laugh, we yuck it up. We share cool stuff we're reading and or you know, different experiences we're having and talk about different, you know, businesses or ideas and how we can help each other or what's going on in one another's life. I come home, take a shower, I hit some prayer and meditation. I've got I've got like, you know, 10 different books that I'm reading essentially. Do a little gratitude list or something like that. Send about 20 or so text messages out to different people that are in my little family of kind of, you know, consciousness community group, people who are looking to gain spiritual awareness and create their best lives for one another. And that's pretty beautiful. And then I go to work, man. And work is different detoxes, mental health facilities, and drug and alcohol rehabs. I show up with my little bag of tricks, spirit animal cards, and bracelets that we make, and setting intentions, and essential oils, and you know, different podcasts we'll listen to from all kinds of people, Wayne Dyer and Joe Dispenza, Russell Brand, or what, you know, we do little conversations on breaking the paradigm and having a new perspectives and stuff. These people are pretty stuck and hurting, and so trying to bring awareness and help them kind of get out of their rut. And I go from one place to the next, and I work until 2:30 in the afternoon. I have a little time to myself, come and do a podcast, talk to some friends, run some errands or whatever. Then I go to different groups around 5:30 p.m. I go and I hang out with about 50 of my good friends. We talk about God and we talk about life. We talk about sobriety. I come home at 7 o'clock at night and it's freaking over. I'm tired. I'm ready to just, you know, listen to something or do a meditation or watch TV and crash out. And I get up and I do the whole thing all over again. And it's freaking rad, man.
That's
I mean,
it.
I couldn't ask for anything more.
I love it. You're always an inspiration. Like, honestly, dude, like you are always an inspiration. Like, I always look at you, whether it's a good time or a bad time with you. You're just always so true and honest. And
It's funny. Thank you. I was actually cleaning my house, a little organizing over this last weekend, and I pulled out an old notepad from all these writings that I did when I was in jail when you were coming to visit me, you know, and I like had all these goals and these aspirations and hopes, and you know, and I was reading over and I was like brought to tears, man. It's like this dream that I had, like I'm living now. It's so cool. What was that, 7 years ago?
yeah.
Like 7 years ago. Yeah. And like it's all come true. It's so
Well,
cool.
listen, it was meant to be. Like, it was so
Yeah.
meant to be because he has a great mom too. He has a great family in general that I can relate to a lot because she's a single mom and she has two kids. Jeremy has a sister named Taylor, but Jelana is like, you know, she's a woman like just trying to get through her own shit. And she's also raising, you know, her babies. And she called me and told me about Jeremy's situation. And it was like, what the fuck? Like, no, this isn't where he belongs. He doesn't belong in jail. He doesn't belong in the system. He doesn't belong in trouble. Jeremy needs to be helping people. And that's exactly what he's doing. It's exactly where he's at. And this is if anybody is struggling, like reach out to Jeremy or look to where Jeremy teaches or whatever he does, because it's not a shameful thing and he's so non-judgmental. And you can talk about anything with Jeremy. That's what I love about him. You
And let's
really
not,
can. You can fart in front of Jeremy. He
I'll,
probably
I'll
farted
probably just
first,
match it.
you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And let's call a spade, just so you guys know. Nicole literally saved my life. I mean, I was looking at this crazy prison sentence for this weird, you know, drug induced BS gone wrong, whatever, super lame. And you know, I was gonna get in huge trouble. And my poor mom, so beaten up and afraid, you know, that you know, she kind of went into panic mode. And like Nicole said, she legitimately stepped in and was like, nope, nope, that's not gonna happen like that. Put me in touch with a lawyer that saved me, dude. I mean, it was gonna be real bad for me. So that
It was a moment,
Nicole
it was
literally
a
saved me.
moment in your life, you know? There was a
Yeah,
moment in time that was not the prettiest moment of your life, and
pivotal
that's it.
moment.
Like that's
Yeah,
it. And we have to stop judging people on moments of time. I hate that. I hated it, and I sat there and I was like, Jelana, are you kidding? Like this isn't gonna like I refuse to let this like, you know, be the rest of his life. And
yeah. Thank you for that.
I didn't know. And there were like, it's not like I'm powerful. My energy was like, my heart was like, let's find somebody. And we did. And I was like, find somebody that like feels the same way, that knows like what a good soul, all the good he's going to do. And let's like fucking fix this. But,
And here we
because it
are.
wasn't, yeah, this was not like, this wasn't anything you deserved. And here you are, it's
Pretty
beautiful
cool.
life that you are.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool. Pretty cool.
You know,
It is,
Jeremy,
man.
one of my favorite sayings is you spend half your life learning to be the person you are, and spend the second half of your life living that life as the person that you are. For the people who aren't aware of your story, can you kind of start at the beginning and show how you got to the bad part and how you got out of the bad part?
Yeah, I mean, I could paraphrase, you know, I guess, and try to encapsulate it. You know, you know, I'm of the belief system that, you know, I was born with this addiction gene, right? This spiritual malady, so to speak, this sense of lack and this hyper focus on comparing my insides to my perception of other people's outsides. You know, to me, from a young boy, everybody seemed to be happy and as if they knew what they were doing. And I just had this gripping sense of I have no idea what's going on and I don't fit in, and everything hurts. I feel too deeply, learning disabilities, hyperactivity, dyslexia, whatever, but also, you know, not having a dad and not, you know, having a little single mom with no money. And like, how is any of this ever going to go good? You know, to me from an early age, I just felt like this is not going to end. None of this is going to end up well. We don't have the means or the intelligence or the strength, or, you know, we're without. And I don't like the way life feels. Um, and you know, I discovered first performance as my first sense of power, or my first sense of belonging, or my first sense of having something to offer. And that was really my first drug. I got high on that, and I did that all
What
day,
was it?
every day. Performance, singing, dancing,
Oh,
entertaining.
got
Yeah.
you. Okay.
So from 1 year old, you know, I'm working on my craft. I'm creating dance routines, and, you know, whether I was lip syncing a song and doing a dance, or whether I was putting on a costume and doing a show, people paid attention, people liked it, I got smiles, I got approval, I got laughter. And I was like, okay, here, this is it, this is my sense of belonging. And I was passionate about it. I didn't know the entertainment industry. We grew up in Orange County. I didn't you know, have a big idea of where it was going to go, but I was just doing it because I discovered something I love, maybe something that got me out of my pain, maybe something that created some happiness for other people. And I loved it. And so that obviously got me a lot of work, because I had essentially been working on it from 1 to 6 years old. So for 4 years, I'm practicing all day and every day. And now I get this commercial and they want me to do this or do that. No problem. I've been doing this and that alone in my bedroom all day, every day. I can do that. I can pretend I love this race car. Um, so it's a Mattel commercial at 6, and then that turned into 6 Mattel commercials because I was so easy to work with. I was so passionate. I paid attention. I needed that. I needed to do a good job. If I didn't do a good job for them, I saw myself as a failure. So I was driven, very driven from a young age, and very mature for my age, and hardworking for my age, and all that kind of stuff. It was a strength of mine. Anyway, that turned into a lot of work, and we got out of the slums, and now we can, you know, have a car that doesn't catch on fire every day. And you know, then it was Baywatch, and from Baywatch it was music. It was 2 albums and 5 singles and a couple top 10 hits and big concerts. And then it's, you know, turning down this $1 million movie offer because I'm busy in Europe doing my music career. And then it's, can you just come into the studio for 15 minutes for 30 grand to do this voiceover on this? It's like, yeah, cool. Look at me, dude. I'm the man. And so from 10 to 18 was a whirlwind of stuff and fans and huge piles of fan mail I could literally swim through, and, you know, private security and managers and agents and publicists, and people are fighting over me. You know, I'm a hot commodity, I'm a hot ticket. Good thing I have been working so hard at this. I'm a consummate professional. I'm a PhD in entertainment already at 12 years old. So anyway, discovered, you know, drinking, smoking weed. I always had that a weird sneaking suspicion that there was more to life, and I never really felt like I arrived. And I wanted to arrive. I wanted to be grown up. I wanted to be powerful. I wanted to have influence. I wanted to belong. I wanted to be needed. And so, you know, it's kind of normal. 12-year-old kids want to hang out with 14-year-old kids. 14-year-old kids want to hang out with 16-year-old kids. 16-year-old kids, you know, you want to grow up a little faster. At least I did. And I did the weed smoking and the drinking and knocking back a couple beers like grown-ups do. Looks cool, looks fun. They're laughing, they're having a good time. So I'm going to do that. But, you know, what I didn't know is what a grip that was going to get on me, and how, you know, I have an obsession of the mind, and I have a genetic mutation in my brain. And once I do something that cascades dopamine, every cell in my body on a biological level believes I have to do that again to survive. And a good idea voice doesn't win against a biological urge and necessity for survival. I didn't know that once I got high and I felt that great elation or that sense of woo, I didn't know that I wasn't going to be able to talk my way out of continuing to do it. That's the disease of alcoholism. That's the disease of addiction. It's not a moral issue. It's not an issue of willpower or character. It's an issue of biological mutation on a genetic level in the brain, and you can't shut that switch off. It's like making yourself stop breathing. It's not possible to do, save by an act of providence and or some big spiritual or emotional awakening. A lot of people blur this line and cross addict and do all kinds of other things to overcome that, but they're just stepping into more of the same. Anyway, quit the job, quit Baywatch, quit acting, went full force into partying, wanted to be an adult, wanted to say, screw that, I'll go back to it later. That might have happened. It happened for a lot of people. It happened for Robert Downey Jr. It's happened to other people who went off the deep end and came back and were very successful. But when I got in a lot of trouble, jails, you know, rehabs, you name it, kidnappings, armed robberies, all kinds of scary stuff, drug charges, and you know, got clean and sober when I was 20, and that was fun. That was neat. Did really well. Started working for fashion designers and producing fashion shows and traveling the world outside of television and film, more into the fashion and nightlife entertainment behind the scenes, not as a front man. Really enjoyed that. Lost the desire really to be a front man. Lost the interest in the entertainment industry. After that, I got really focused on athletics, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, personal training, nutrition, dove into that. I'm an extremist by nature. I'm an overachiever by nature. That's just who I am. Whatever I get my hands on, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And had a lot of fun with that. And was doing very well with over 10 years sober. And that whole, the sense of pride and ego, or the loss of perception, really driven by this keep up with the Joneses mentality, this arriving idea, this you know, this illusion of superiority and or reaching the top of the mountain. As a chronic malcontent, we talked about from birth, as a person who's just more genetically predisposed to be obsessed with what I don't have, rather than somebody who's obsessed with, you know, nurturing, grooming, and enjoying what I do have. just by nature. Of course, I lost that again. I lost my recovery. I lost my sobriety. Yeah, I went through a gnarly relationship, and life is always happening. So I didn't have the tools as life was happening, and I started drinking again, and life got horrible all over again. Addiction is a chronic, fatal, and progressive illness, meaning it never goes away. It gets worse, and it wants me dead. And that's why everyone's overdosing, not because they're killing themselves, because they just want to get a little bit higher and they're dying. And the overdose rate is through the roof now with fentanyl, because it's much easier to do that. Everyone's hearing about that. That's no secret. It's a lot harder to kill yourself with booze or with cocaine, but now that the cocaine has fentanyl in it and everything, everyone's just croaking left and right. It's insane. It's a full-blown epidemic. Anyway,
Jeremy, not to interrupt, Jeremy, you and Dave is a spokesperson, and he goes around speaking to schools about fentanyl.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Amazing.
Like, you guys should chat about this, and maybe
Absolutely.
like something you guys could do together. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jeremy, my 20-year-old son went through a lot of the same things you're saying, and unfortunately, he died from fentanyl.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. I have some people I'd love to hook you up with, the Songbird Foundation. And Jodie Foster, who also, she lost her son, and she speaks a lot. She has a little documentary, but it's her full-time mission, man. I got Narcan in my truck. I lost a 26-year-old guy in my arms, a beautiful young boy that I was working with and loving on. And it was gnarly. I mean, I can't even imagine losing a son, brother. I'm sorry to hear that, man. But thank you for carrying the message. Thank you for turning the tragedy into triumph for somebody else. That's powerful.
It's a goal to save lives.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate the work you're doing in the community. It's my community. It's our community. So, there I am in jail, and Nicole's coming to visit me, and I'm in rehab, and a lot of the Baywatch cast really came. It was crazy. Nicole came with Chokichi, and Alexander Paul came with Chokichi, and they visited me and supported me. They put a little money on my books, man. It was embarrassing, yet of course, knowing that my friends were still there for me, and there were still some life opportunities out there for me, was beautiful. I was missing a tooth. It was pretty gnarly.
And he didn't care. He's so self-confident. This is the thing about Jeremy. He's like, and that big smile, and there's like a tooth missing. You remind me of my friend George Stoltz. He was the same way. When I first met him, I was like, dude, where's your tooth? You gotta love it. It's super sexy. It's super hot. Like, the confidence level through the roof. Like, how
did you see my gold one?
Yeah, I love it. Do you know my daughter? My daughter came to town. And I was like, "You have something on your tooth?" And she's like, "No, it's like she has something implanted."
Little diamond. Yeah,
cool. She's got something gold in there.
Yeah,
love it.
And so I mean, here I am now. I mean, it almost killed me, almost took me down. I was hanging on by a thread, and Nicole really stepped up for me. I got that attorney. I never want to have to do that again. And, today I work proficiently with very specific tools to make sure I stay in a place of gratitude, make sure I'm a worker amongst workers, because what I've learned at this phase of my life is that life, for me at least, is a paradox. An absolute paradox. Everything I thought I knew is different, and actually usually the opposite, meaning the more I let go, the more I experience receiving, meaning the more I surrender, the more I experience the win, meaning when I self-forget is when I find myself, meaning that only by dying is when I awaken. And when, it's just all a freaking paradox, man. It's wild to be in this state of self-forgetting and putting others before me. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I pull my head up from the work, and I'm like, holy crap, I've never had it this good. And I didn't do any of it.
But
I just kept letting go, and here it is.
No, but you did. That is putting in work. And that's something I look at you.
It's an inverted type of work. In the work, I heard all this shit for years. All the answers are within. It's like, man, what are you talking about? That makes no freaking sense. But when you do the inner work,
Yeah, it's
like,
there.
oh my gosh, the outside reflects the inner work. This is crazy. This makes no sense, but it works.
You're proof of it. No,
You're
it
winning.
is. It is,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people don't get it, and you have to have
Because
to
the thing
step in
is
it
about
because it's real.
you have to experience it to get it. It's an experience. You can hear it a
Yeah.
million times, and you can even try it a little bit. You know, I love this saying that, it's you can say the prayer, right? But when you experience the prayer, then you become the prayer. You become the prayer. I'm not here to say prayers. I'm here to be the prayer. I'm
Yeah.
here to radiate from a frequency of abundance and love and just gratitude. And then all of a sudden, all the stuff I asked for in prayers, like back there in those letters I wrote in jail that I was reading over the weekend, I'm like, I'm living it. Holy crap.
When you can be quiet for one moment in your own mind, you need to write a book.
It'll happen.
It needs to happen. It should happen sooner than later if it's not already happening.
Whoever's watching this and wants to get involved, message me. We'll write the book.
Well, I don't think I think all you'll probably need is financing. I think you need to do the writing. I think
I will do the writing.
Okay, let's go. Let's
Yeah,
see.
give me some seed money. I want some seed money.
Yeah, all you need is a distribution deal.
Yeah.
In fact, you can get that on Amazon. It's not even hard these days. You should do that. You should focus on that.
It shall be.
Yes, we love you. Oh,
How was the
so
story?
much.
Was that a decent encapsulation of what you asked for?
I mean, come on. It's so much more. You look so good, by the way, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Like, because for a minute with the beard, I was like, I'm not sure. I really, you look so healthy. You don't look like over muscular. Because Jeremy will really work out. Jeremy will be that guy that you're like, is that Arnold Schwarzenegger needs to go take a bath. And you don't look like that because you just really look beautiful and healthy, and you're glowing and you're radiating, and I love that. I love everything about it. That's it.
Yeah, I was overdoing everything back in the day. I found that place of neutrality, and I'm right in the middle now. It's great. It's heaven on earth.
Bless you. God bless you, because it's working. It's working. So if anybody wants to be anything like Jeremy, like I do, I'm always watching. Follow him. What are your
at Jeremy
media?
Jackson Fitness on Instagram, at Jeremy Jackson Fitness. I'm actually launching a online training program that will include meditations, mindset, and nutrition. So
Is
that's
that going to be at Jeremy Jackson Fitness? Is that where we find that?
Jeremy Jackson Fitness on Instagram. There's a little link right there to sign up. It's coming soon.
Oh, I love
right
it.
around the corner.
I love it. You might see my name like signed up. Seriously, I need to like do something. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for always being
I love you guys.
My shining light.
Appreciate everything. Truly. This is really cool.
Jeremy, before you
go ahead.
As I said, I met you right before the show started for the first time. Obviously, I've seen you on television for years, but I tell you, listening to your story, and I can't thank you enough for sharing it, because I think the perception of what people who don't go through what you go through, or don't have a family member that has gone through what you've gone through, it touches a lot of people, and it's a serious issue. And man, my hat's off to Nicole for not turning her back. I mean, for me, my biggest things. It is. It's actually.
Listen, I was listen, I don't like all the credit I'm getting given. All I saw was a moment of a good person who didn't belong in the place they were in. That's all I was.
But you didn't turn your back.
Yeah, I was just a step in going. No, I didn't turn my back. No, I saw a good soul that was in the wrong place, and we needed to fix that from the outside. Like somebody needed to fix that. That's all.
Because it shows you the person you are. Jeremy, I'll say, for me, as I get older, compassion and kindness are the most important thing. I love Nicole, that Nicole had it for you. I'm glad that you are where you're at. I tell you, I teared up the whole time because it reminded me when I was watching my son go through his struggles. And
Yeah.
at the end of his life, he was winning too. It's just he thought he was taking a Xanax and someone had fentanyl on it. And it killed him. But he was the guy just like you, giving speeches at suicide prevention walks and
Wow.
and doing the right thing and helping kids in the community. And he was making other people's lives better. So listen to you talk and see that you're winning. You're an inspiration to me, and I know to many others. And you're just beginning, my friend.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Anything we can do together to spread the message.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that we all came together.
I'm off to lead a meditation now.
I took a meditation of Jeremy's once, and it was so deep. It was like way deeper than I could go. Oh my God. So if anybody's like on that journey, go. I don't know what that fork thing is scary.
I'll close us out with a little root chakra vibration.
One more time.
There you go. Getting close to the mic. Wow.
It's literally vibrating.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Can you hear that? It's heavy duty, dude. This is like the freaking Viking version.
It really is, and it's a self defense mechanism. It's a lot of things wrapped up into one.
Super cool.
Well,
super cool.
I love it.
Love you guys, man.
Talk to you later.
Good things, my friend.
See you soon.
Yes. Goodbye.
Peace. Blessings. Love you. Bye.
That was cool. Yeah,
that was right?
That was much. I'm sorry for jumping back, but I know you know the end of the story, but I don't know if people know the story without looking it up. And I was afraid, Nicole, people were going to look it up without knowing what they were reading was factual and what maybe get the wrong story, the bad end of the story. And I wanted to
they are,
told it from his own words. Yeah. I wanted him to set it straight from his own words because I knew he could tell the story the best. But
I mean, that's what the internet
I just
does.
don't want to. I know that's why I don't want me to step on it. If you took it the wrong way,
No.
I know you know the whole story, and for anyone who's listening to go, okay, what is the story without having to look it up and get the wrong story. So
no,
I just
that's
wanted to make
right.
sure the story was told correctly.
That's right, and I love that, and that needed to happen, and it's sad. It's sad to go back there. I mean, I've been there through it all with him and seen him. Like I remember one time being in an In-N-Out, like no joke. An In-N-Out, which we don't eat a lot of fast food, and my girls wanted it, and I'm like in the parking lot, and I like am sitting there waiting for like a special order, and there's Jeremy like in the parking lot of an In-N-Out by my house, like, and I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, waiting to do a deal, and I was like,
oh no.
And it just is all of these things, and you're just like, it's hard. It's just really hard.
So how old was Jeremy when you met him, Nicole?
Well, when I met Jeremy, he was really little. I mean, we both were very young. I was only 19, and he had to be, I don't know. I don't even really know. He was like a kid. I didn't pay him any attention, to be honest.
So was there some point that made you feel like I'm looking out for this guy because he's a kid? I know what it's like to be that age in this business, to almost like a family member.
Kind of. I really was more friends with his mom and with his sister, and his sister was like would look out for my oldest. And then I don't know, we had this like kindred, because his mom is a single mom, so like we had this like kindred spirit. We have this thing. And Jeremy was always like, oh, there's Jeremy. And then because we both grew up in Orange County, so it's like he's family just with that, it's such a small knit community, right? So it's like be Dennis Rodman's club, and there's like Jeter, me, and Jeremy, hanging out, and it's like there's it's small down there, so we're close like that. And then when he started getting in trouble, it was worrisome. And then it was like, well, is he going to get this together? Is he not? And then when we got older, I got to know him like for him. And we were more on an even level, like field of like, he wasn't that little kid on set anymore. He was like my peer. And they made he and I a love interest on Baywatch. So all of a sudden, this wasn't Jeremy Hobie anymore. This was Jeremy, who was like my boyfriend. And so it took us to a different level. And when we got back to Los Angeles after filming in Hawaii, we spent a lot of time together and he was doing really well. So when he got married and things went bad and then things got worse. And I just knew him in such a different way. And, there's a lot of people that you kind of like, I don't know, whatever happens to them is their problem. You know what I mean? But then there's other people where you're like, they don't belong there. Like they're just in a bad place for right now. And he's that guy. And when his mom called and said like he was looking at a life sentence, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this isn't because he did what? He like in a drug induced thing, he stabbed somebody. And that sounds really bad. And I guess that is really bad. But the person he stabbed was also like on drugs and gave him the drugs. And like, this is all just a big mess. You know what I mean? So we have to give this guy another chance. I'm big on second, third, fourth chances. I feel like, if you're willing to put in the work and you're let's go, let's do it. So, yeah, I ran across the lawyer and gave her the story and was like, don't you feel bad? Like, get him out. And she did. And as I say again, I don't have any credit. He did the work. Like he did the work. I just was, a bystander that saw where he should be, like where he was and where he should be. That's all. I just did my due diligence. Like that's it.
Most
That's
people
all
don't.
I did.
I hate to say it, most people don't. They spend 30 seconds thinking about it, they move on to the next thing. So hats off to you, definitely, for not turning your back. Again, you got the ball rolling. And as you said, he's a very, grateful and thankful to you.
Well, he needed it, and I fell on it and had it, and we did it, and I don't know. And hopefully like this is life, right? You do these things for people that you love and you hope that it all just keeps going. And I don't know. I don't like credit for
I
it.
know you don't want credit for it, but it's definitely deserved. I'll
Well,
say it since you won't say it.
he's-
I'll say it. He said it. So him and I see it the same way.
he's dope. He's
Yeah.
dope, right? Like
Yeah.
I think you guys can probably do some really cool stuff together. I'm
Yep.
hoping. I think it's maybe a good connect. Yeah, that's what I like about life. I love seeing everybody like coming together. And you know what else I love is that like we're doing this show and people are thinking like Jeremy Jackson is probably going to come on and talk about like surfing, and we're throwing like real conversations in people's face.
Yeah.
And just like Matt, it's like, oh, we're going to talk about modeling. And, he's got more going on than that. And I don't know.
That's why I'm glad you have the platform. Again, it's your direction. The show is perfect title for it, for the Perfectly Twisted, which
it is, right?
Obviously came up with it. You came up with the perfect title for what we're doing. Before we get out of here, let me throw 5 questions at you.
Okay.
5 questions from listeners. All right, here you go. Again, if you want to write a question, you have a question for Nicole, just go to the website, perfectlytwistedpod.com. Go to the mailbag. You can write the questions. We'll pull questions out. We'll throw them at Nicole. This one's from Curtis. I know I'm gonna mess this up, Curtis. It's Alimo. I hope that is it. Alaimo.
I know him.
Nicole. Okay. Nicole, did you ever think of putting out your very own cooking shows? No.
No. I was excuse me.
No problem.
Oh my God, the end of the show, I always get froggy. I was cast for a like cooking cook-off show. And suddenly when the cameras were on and like the focus was on me and my cooking, I got super nervous. Like I couldn't even pour the milk. Like my hand was shaking like this. And I was spilling everywhere. And I got disqualified because I didn't salt the pasta.
Oh.
But because what they don't understand is that, and you know what, Curtis, this might be a good idea, because what people don't understand is like I come from a family of high cholesterol. So we take salt out of everything if we can. Like, so I only put salt when you really, really need it. And I only use pink Himalayan salt for the most part. Sometimes I use some black salt, but I don't use table salt. It's
Yeah.
just not what I do. Why do you have to salt the pasta while it's boiling? Your
It's
taste buds
supposed
are
to
that bad?
it's
Why
supposed to make
can't
it
your
boil
sauce?
faster. It's supposed to make the water
No,
boil faster too.
that's not true. First of
Is
all,
that
that's
true?
not
Is that
true. It's
really?
supposed to flavor the noodles if
I
you
thought it
want to
was a
get
both.
into it,
I
because
thought
I
it was a
am
double.
a cook. No, it doesn't make anything boil any faster. It has nothing to
Okay.
do with that. They do it to flavor the noodle. But if your sauce isn't bringing the flavor, then I don't know what the fuck your noodle's gonna do for it. I don't know. We don't use a lot of salt.
Yeah.
We're like a bare minimal salt family because high cholesterol runs
There you
in
go.
our genes. So there you go. So Curtis, I don't know.
All right, this one's from Isabel Stromback. What books would you recommend?
Oh, okay. I'm not a big reader because when I read, it's self-help stuff.
Yeah.
So Eckhart Tolle, I don't know how we say it, but I think it's Tolle. Power of Now and Stillness Speaks. That's my Bibles. They're right next to my bed. If I were to walk you in there, they're literally next to my bed. And I read them all the time. And I think that everybody could benefit from it. I don't read like recreational, and I've tried to get into like the books like on like where you listen to the books.
Yeah. The
And I'm a
audiobooks.
speed reader. Yeah, I'm a speed reader. So like when I'm listening to people reading the books, I'm like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Yeah.
I could have read a chapter by now. So that doesn't work for me. But Eckhart Tolle, like if you don't know him, check him out. He's everything.
See, people always get on me for not reading more, but I'm like, I'll be honest with you, TV's never been better. Like I can't catch up to all these shows. There's so many damn things on my list that I haven't gotten to that TV's just never been better. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's right. Because you have TV. You have TV. And if I'm gonna read, if I have those moments in my life, like you, like we're parents, we have jobs,
Yeah.
we do things. If you have that moment, I'm into self-help. And so no recreational reading is gonna do any of that for me. So
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. This is from Carl Winters. I'm going to mess this up too. What was it like working with Charles Bronson in the movie? Is it Kinjite? Is it pronounce it for me? Kinjite, not too bad. Kinjite Forbidden Subjects.
Kinjite Forbidden Subjects. Well, it was a really weird shoot because like we were talking about Brooke Shields and how the times were different. I was a young girl, underage. My mom was on set with me. I was playing a prostitute. He was very respectful. I really honestly really took the movie because my dad was a huge Charles Bronson fan.
Yeah.
Like my dad was like, "Are you kidding? This is
a
it."
Death
Like
Wish guy? Was your dad into Death Wish?
Oh,
Yeah.
anything Charles Bronson, my dad was all about it. And I would always usually leave the room. So like I
Yeah.
had no idea. I was like, okay, see you later. Going to my room, turning on the radio. So yeah, it was sort of a nostalgic thing. And my dad was super impressed. And Charles Bronson was super kind and a gentleman. And I don't have a lot of recollection. And I didn't work with him a lot. So it was brief, but he was amazing.
All right. So 2 things off of this. So I knew this question was coming. So I looked at stuff up before I asked it. One is Charles Bronson, I think, was married 3 times. And his second wife, he went to the guy the girl was married to and said, "I'm going to marry your wife." The guy she was married and told the guy, "I'm going to marry your wife." And they were married for like 22 years.
Oh my God.
And yeah, he did. He stole the guy's wife. He called the shot.
I think he's a stud. I think he's like the full
Or
on
an asshole.
like well, the lady took a part in it, didn't she?
She did.
So I mean, he's kind of like you know what? All this makes sense. This is why my dad loved him.
Yeah.
Like if I were to show you pictures of my dad would like drive out to Vegas in the desert with his friends. They would pull out their guns, they would wear holsters and cowboy hats and have like belts with bullets, and they'd be shooting off shit and then go hire hookers. And he called himself the Vegas Kid. Like that's my dad. Okay.
Yeah.
So this all makes sense. So yes, Yeah, that's who my dad would like think is cool. Oh my God. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So my
So
other
and he
question about
stayed
go ahead.
married to her for 20 years, you
Yeah.
say, right?
She unfortunately she died at 54 years old.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
she
really
got
young.
sick and died. Very beautiful woman, by the way. But yeah, no, I had to look everything up. And then at less than I think 5 years of you working with him, I think he passed away. You know, he died I think at age 82. But all right, so here's another question. This is a ridiculous question, but this is something his age, Charles Bronson's age, where in Hollywood a lot of people had hair pieces. Was Charles Bronson wearing a hairpiece?
Oh my God, I have no idea.
You don't even
I
know.
have no
Yeah,
idea. No, but you know who
my
I get
college
asked
roommate's
that?
dad did hair for actors in Hollywood, and he was always a guy that would spot hairpiece, and so I didn't know.
You know,
It was funny.
that's funny because people would always ask me about William Shatner
Yeah. Oh yeah.
on TJ
Yeah.
Hooker,
His a
right?
hairpiece.
So was it
Yeah,
a
it's not
hairpiece?
real
Was
hair.
it not? And I was like, why do you care? Who cares?
Yeah.
And I at that age I didn't understand. Like I just was like, who cares? Because we're all in the makeup. And my mom would be like, just like peek and see, like, are they gluing it on? And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I still don't know. And it probably was. And you know what's so funny is, do you watch Good Day LA?
I used to when I lived in Los Angeles. I did. Yes.
So Tony McEwing, right?
Yeah.
Who was on there forever and we're all a fan of. I watch it every day religiously. It's the first when I wake up, when that alarm goes off, the first thing I do is I'm like, I put on Good Day LA. Steve Edwards is still a good friend. But Tony McEwen, and I was looking at his hair and I was like,
Now
that
you're
looks
wondering.
awfully thick.
Yeah.
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 This looks awfully thick. And he retired recently and he was like, and I'm also retiring.
No
and he took it
way.
off.
No
yeah.
way. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a ballsy move.
Amazing. I don't know
Yeah,
why
that's
guys care. Why do guys care so much about their hair?
You know what? I started thinking about it when Jeremy was talking, and I was
that
like,
was shocking.
because when you and I were younger, think about it. When you and I were younger, how many men did you see? And this was all the time. Guys who just had the rim. They had the hair on the sides, nothing on top. Now you don't see those guys anymore. So how many guys don't have? Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. How many guys are actually getting hair transplants? I'm guessing a lot now. Because when we were younger, they were all over the place.
I dated a guy with hair transplants and he wouldn't fucking admit it. And I would read the shampoo, like he would use special shampoo.
I wouldn't fucking admit it. Yeah.
He wouldn't. And it was and I was so annoyed because like if I would like grab
touch his hair,
he'd be like, like don't pull on it. Cause like I'm a little bit of a hair puller. And he would be like, don't pull on it. And I went and I read his shampoo bottles and it was like for synthetic hair or whatever. And I was like, but I don't understand. They do a great job. Okay, fine. I guess. I mean, it's like, why do women get implants? I mean, why does anybody get lip injections? I guess it all is like whatever you're feeling.
Yeah.
And I guess they are looking better these days because for a while you knew immediately, right? Like you could see,
you could
like,
tell the line with guys.
Yeah.
Because guys have a point, and then if it goes straight down, you're like, oh, it's a hairpiece.
Yeah. And it looked like you could see the plugs in the hairline. Yeah. So it was never a good look. But now I guess it's like easy to do. Like Jeremy's looked, I would have never even thought.
No, me neither.
No. So whatever. I mean, whatever people want to do. I'm all there. I'm there.
I'm with you. I'm with you too. None of it bothers me. If whatever makes people feel better, I'm all for.
Yeah.
Here we go. Shad Jones has the question. Where was Blown Away filmed?
I want to say Toronto.
Okay.
Toronto or Vancouver. Maybe both. And some of the countryside over there. We spent a lot of time there and we were all over the place, but it was definitely in Canada.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, that's always interesting to me when people not only ask that question, but because that's something I would have asked also I'm always curious to know where are these things filmed, like I was always shocked when I was a big Rocky fan as a kid. I was always shocked in Rocky 4 that when he fought the Russian, it was in Vancouver. What was in Vancouver?
Why? I don't get it. Why?
Because I guess they're looking. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I'm always curious to know. Like I know it's more expensive in certain places, but in Canada it's supposed to be cheaper. And so, but I don't know why it was like. Wait a second. We don't have any problem in Canada. What's the deal? When I saw Rocky 4, it was because remember during that time in the 80s. I don't know if you're a Rocky fan, but in the 80s, especially when Reagan was president, there's always the threat of one of us is going to drop a bomb on each other. We both had a button for the nuclear bomb. And so it was high tension in the mid 80s, early 80s. And Rocky 4, when that came out, I remember it was Thanksgiving weekend and everybody was standing up during the last fight in the theater. People were standing up.
Oh,
I've never seen anything like it. Like they were
oh,
so into what was happening in Rocky 4. And I was like, this was in Nashville, Tennessee. So either I was as dumb as everyone else or they're as dumb as me, but we were standing during a movie.
no, listen, this legacy is big. Like what they're doing now and how it's continued and how it's evolved and like the whole franchise is like it's a beautiful thing. And off of something like boxing,
Yeah.
amazing. No, I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, you guys are like tried true fans.
we
'Cause
we definitely
look
are.
at where it's
Yeah,
at.
the
It's still a
Apollo.
show.
Yeah, the
Like,
Apollo movies
yeah,
are coming out. Michael B. Jordan, man.
amazing. And he
Yeah.
handed it over and I so graciously and beautifully. And it's I don't know. I get all like mushy about that stuff, but I
Me
love
too.
it. Yeah.
Me too. All right,
Yeah.
last question. This is a question I would have asked as well. Vicky Lagana says, "Who was your first Hollywood crush?"
Oh God. Um, it's so funny. I was never a kid that like crushed on anybody. Like I never had a poster in my room. I remember thinking Kirk Cameron, cringe, cringe, cringe. I remember thinking Kirk Cameron was cute for a second. Ricky Schroeder was always a
Yeah.
friend and thought was cute. I guess Corey Haim. We'll go with Corey Haim.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Um,
interesting. So you had
I
access
never.
to people. That's the difference to you and everyone else. Like you know what I'm saying? Kurt Cameron's show was going on when your show was going on. Like if you wanted to somehow reach out to Kurt Cameron, you could
Oh,
have
I
done
would
it.
see him every Friday night. Like I
Oh.
was around that kid all the time.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I saw him all the time.
Nobody lives a life like that.
I
That is
guess not.
insane.
So that's why there was never any Hollywood crushes. I was always looking for like, a surfer or a skateboarder
Yeah.
or somebody like doing some kind of like X game thing before X Games was a thing. Actors were not my digs.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There's the answer to that.
So, yeah,
question
so
right
it's I would say Corey Haim and Mark Wahlberg.
there. Oh, there you go.
Those are the two.
There you go.
And yeah, and I lived out those fantasies and yeah, lucky girl, I guess.
Wait, did you ever date Mark Wahlberg? Is that what you just dropped?
A girl doesn't kiss and
Well,
tell.
it just sounded like you dropped it. Like I can't let it go. I know as soon as if I just act like nothing just happened, people go, "What the fuck?"
I mean, listen, I was dating somebody else. Okay, this is a really funny but bad story.
Was this
So
when
I
it
was
was
dating
Mark and the
somebody
Funky
else.
Bunch? Mark?
Yes. Okay. So
Okay.
listen, he goes in and out of town. It was perfect. And we were good friends. And so one night, it's when the Roxbury was really famous
Yeah.
and popular. And so we go to the Roxbury, we have a good night or whatever. And I'm dating somebody else. Like, this is horrible, Nicole. I'm telling you a dirty, dark Nicole secret. And my boyfriend goes, "What'd you do this weekend?"
Oh, shit.
And I was like, I don't know. I was like, and we're out at his place in Malibu, his parents' house out in Malibu. And I'm like, I don't know. Let me think. Oh, I think I went to Roxbury. He's like, yeah, you did.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
you did.
Who were you with? And I was like, I don't know. I'm playing it off, and he goes, and he confronts me because I've been terrible. I've been a terrible girlfriend. I'm very young.
Is he
Give me a
famous?
break.
Is this a famous person?
Who's asking me?
Yeah, the person that was your
He's
boyfriend.
also an actor. He's
Okay.
also an actor. I don't think he probably. I'm
No,
not-
but is it somebody the audience would know if you said their name?
probably Eric Edeberry. Yeah.
Oh, geez, good for you.
He was such a good guy. He's still such a good guy. We're still friends. Luckily, he's still my friend. And so, anyways, I don't know. He starts questioning me, and I fail I fail miserably. And we're doing laundry, and he throws People magazine at me,
Oh, shit.
and not at me, but like at the laundry thing. And it's all there is. It's a picture of Mark Wahlberg and I making out in the window at the Roxbury, and I'm like, I don't know. I was like, sorry. I'm sorry. He was in town. We're friends when he's in town. But this is life. This is what your 20s are for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that was
I
awesome.
think so.
That was
I
awesome.
mean, I think so.
That might
I
have just
think
been my favorite part of the show that we've done right there. Out of all the shows, that might have been my favorite part that just came out. That was good. That was good.
it.
All right.
I mean,
All right. We'll end with that. That was fantastic.
truth. It's the truth.
There you
Well, it's
go.
funny because later on I went and I did a cameo on that show Entourage or whatever that's based on his life story.
Yeah.
And it was so shit. And it was like I growing up on sets and like being on sets my whole life, I have like a big appreciation for good ADs, like assistant directors who like can schedule their stuff and have everything timely. Because if you don't know me already, I'm pretty like particular and critical. Easygoing, but I like everything to like, why didn't you schedule it properly? And it was scheduled so poorly. And I think I was like on set for hours to do this one line. So I go in and I do it. And it was like, nothing about it was like what I expected. And I leave and I take like thousands of dollars worth of denim jeans. Because they were all just piled in my dressing room, like, try these on. Do you want any of them? I was like, I'm so fucking annoyed that I spent all day here waiting to do that one line and I stole all the denim, but you know.
There you go. There you go. Oh my gosh.
So that's
Oh my
another
gosh.
doozy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was a lot
All
of
the
fun, Nicole.
horrible things I've done. Yes.
Again, if you have a question for Nicole, all you have to do is go to the website, perfectlytwistedpod.com, go to Nicole's mailbag, ask the question, and we'll get it on the show. But that was,
And
that was
don't
fun.
forget to subscribe to us, guys. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next week. And Dave, I love your casual look, by the way. I like how you started with the button down and as you've gone on. Now there's
into the hoodies
and a flip lid. Yeah, I
oh,
like it.
This is
I'm
my
into
favorite. This is me right here. You want to see the regular me? This is what I prefer.
I
the
know.
most.
Well, I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank you.